Hey guys, Geek Gab here. Now, in this video, I will be talking about the different alternate timeline or alternate universe versions of Ben. Now, here's the thing. I'm not going to be covering every single one. I'm only going to be talking about like the most prevalent ones and just ones I found interesting that I thought show promise as interesting story concepts. Now, I won't be going into super big detail, but mostly just in summary. I'll do individual videos on them in the future, and after this video, I will be doing just other assorted nerd topics because I don't want to have people think I only do Ben 10. I don't want to limit my demographic, you know. Anywho, starting off, we got Ben 10,000, but specifically the version from the original series. Now, originally, he was a lot more serious, calculated, spent pretty much zero time in his human form, and was often just cold and distant to his family, and was racing around the globe as Accelerate to do different hero crap. He's essentially seen as the greatest hero on the planet, and his Omnitrix has gotten a bit different. It looks a lot bigger, and he has access to what he says is 10,000 aliens, even though the Omnitrix has a bit over 1 million. I don't know the exact number, but just simply put, a lot of aliens. And he has no time limit. He has master control, so he can just do rapid changes as he sees fit. Now, after Ben from the past talks some sense into him, he regains that childlike, attitude of how much he loved fighting when he was little, and that basically fixed him up. So his aliens look a lot different from the versions that Ben uses in the past, likely due to age, because the versions that Ben turns into are scaled down. So Forearms is 10 years old, Wildmutt 10 years old, etc. So the aliens he turns into are a lot more powerful because they're basically in their physical prime because they're fully grown. Now, this version of Ben is a lot more intelligent and strategic, because of years and years of being an active hero. And mind you, there's various incarnations and versions of Ben 10,000 because as time shifts around and multiverse shenanigans happen, you'll often see different versions of Ben 10,000. Now, the next one we see is in the Ben 10 Ultimate Alien series. He looks like adult Ben, and it looks like he has the regular recalibrated Omnitrix, but he still has the hyper evolving capability. Now, this one, it's an interesting premise or concept, but isn't executed in the right way. He can transform and gain all of the abilities of any alien he uses without having to physically transform. Now, it's pretty cool, but it looks cool depending on the alien he uses, because otherwise it just really looks weird. It's just kind of like a. Don't get me wrong. It's interesting. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't think it's executed in the right way. Honestly, not much changes aside from just appearance and power set. So, not really much to discuss there. Then you get Ben 10,000 in the Omniverse franchise, or Omniverse series. I don't know why I said franchise. Now, he has what looks like wristband, gauntlets that go up to, his forearm, just before his elbow. And, it's two on both forearms. He calls it the Bio-Omnitrix. Now, each one has all of his aliens unlocked over the years, but by locking them together, linking them together, he can create all kinds of different alien hybrid combinations. Now, given that there's only two, one on each arm, I believe he can only mix two aliens, because otherwise, if it let's say he had different Omnitrixes leading up his arm several watches, then he could just combine to this Frankensteiny Colossus form of a bunch of his different aliens, and that would look cool, but he can't do that. Anywho, he's not that different from prior versions, aside from appearance. Omnitrix version he uses, stuff like that.
Shut up.
And anyway, so he notable combination aliens that he can use include. Hang on, let me just list some off for you. Atomic X, Big Chuck, Crash Shocker, Fomungosaur, Humungoopsaur, Uprig, and that's pretty much it. Now, like the fused names imply, it's a fusion between two aliens. Now, you might be thinking, Alien X and Atomics, that's just nightmare fuel waiting to happen. And you're right about that. Now, me personally, I feel like the Bio-Omnitrix should have been shown way more in Ben 10. And if anything, I would actually I would have loved a Ben 10 show after Omniverse that shows Ben 10,000, it doesn't have to be in his 30s or 40s, but I don't know, maybe a few years into the future, let's say Ben is 19, 20, maybe early 20s. He's already unlocked Master Control, and it's not like he has to unlock the aliens, but let's just say he has to gradually figure out and try each one. He has access to the aliens, but he just hasn't tried them all yet. So I just that would have been an interesting show before we get to the reboot. Plus, just imagine all the cool alien hybrid combinations that could have been. Anyway, sorry about that tangent. Now, the Bio-Omnitrix, Ben actually created using a combination of gray matter and brainstorm. Now, the next one is Ben 23. Now, Ben 23, honestly, I mean, if I were to use my own opinion, is one of like the more interesting alternate universe versions of Ben that I've seen. He's 13. He has the original Omnitrix, but it looks very different in appearance and function. Now, he has a Bieber swoop, gag, and he has his universe or his dimension 23 has a very blue and gold kind of color palette, weirdly. Instead of playlists of 10 aliens that he has to cycle through, he has playlists of 23. And he has, let's just see, how many? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, looks like 33. 33 aliens. Now, some aren't actually shown, but anyway, there's plenty of similarities, but there's also plenty of differences in his dimension. For example, he's never heard of the plumbers, and every Mr. Smoothie establishment in his dimension is a Mr. Gyro. You know, gyro as like the food item from Greece. Now, no, it's not pronounced gyro, so I don't even want to hear it. Anyway, Ben, his Omnitrix looks like the original version of the Omnitrix, but just varying shades of blue and a dash of gold for flavor. Now, he's the richest, most powerful celebrity on the planet in his dimension. Because, well, I mean, basically, it's like, his fame didn't happen by accident. It's just kind of like an undertone, like, oh yeah, I'm famous, whatever. He actually sought it out because in his dimension, Max passed away, before the Omnitrix could end up in his hands like it was supposed to. Now, Ben, to try to fill the void, tried to fill it with fame, fortune, adventure, popularity, etc. So he had no role model to turn him in to make sure he didn't end up like that. He calls his Omnitrix the Hero Watch because, well, I mean, he had to he basically do trial and error, self-taught to teach himself how to do everything with the Omnitrix. By the time Ben Prime shows up, so he didn't even know that the Omnitrix had a name. So he called it the Hero Watch. Now, his alien names for his aliens are mostly puns. So let me just go ahead and read some off for you. Brain Frog, Gray Matter, Build-A-Guy, Blocks, Big Bug, Stinkfly, Charcoal Man, Heat Blast, you get it. Then there's others like Dino Mighty, which is Humongosaur, Freeze Lizard, which is Arctiguana, you get it. Now, me personally, I love dad jokes, so I love that all his alien names are just really cheesy puns. And that's pretty much it. Now, Azimuth eventually showed up as like a sort of mentor figure to Ben 23. So, Honestly, I would have preferred seeing an entire Ben 10 show focused on Ben 23. So, not entirely sure if we'll ever get that, unfortunately. Now, the next one is Mad Ben from the Mad Ben dimension. Summed up, he's basically like a tyrannical warlord Mad Max version of Ben 10. That's pretty much the basics of what you need to know. Now, Max, I believe, just does not exist in this dimension. So obviously, Max doesn't have Max doesn't exist in there. Or basically in trivia, it says that Mad Ben's version of Max is missing, and that was partially responsible for him becoming a villain. And he was also trained by Vilgax and Maltruant through multiverse shenanigans, how to be evil. And that kind of landed him as being evil. Now, he's pretty sadistic, don't get me wrong. But, yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, pretty simple, amongst the other alternate universe versions of Ben. Then you get, Ben Zorro. Now, Ben Zorro comes from a version of Earth that was ravaged by a zombie virus apocalypse. He was one of the scientists, working on it, working on a cure when he himself got infected. Now, his Omnitrix, or Zombitrix, turns any aliens that aren't naturally undead into zombified versions of themselves. Because, well, he's a zombie. Now, me personally, I kind of find this version of Ben to be like an interesting story concept, and I would like it to be further explored in the future. I just hope that they explore it someday in the future, either through a comic series or a cartoon, a movie, anything. I would be happy with anything. Anyway, the next one is Bad Ben. That's pretty much what he was called, Now, essentially, he's just like a polar opposite of Prime Ben. Just replace every good choice with a bad choice, and that's literally the description that they gave, and it's so lazy. Like, listen, no disrespect to the creators of Ben 10, but I just feel like you could have had something so creative with the concept of an evil Ben 10 from an alternate universe, and you just fumbled. It just seems kind of lazy and cheap, Like, seriously? That's it. That's what you thought of. Anyway, not trying to, like, trash on him, whatever. But, anyway, this version of Ben is very sadistic and twisted, has a warped sense of humor, and actively seeks to harm and terrorize people. And, sorry about the lawnmower in the background, that's my pop. Now, the last one I'm going to talk about is No Watch Ben. Basically, so here's the thing. In the multiverse, every possibility is a reality. And, basically, everything you can think of is a possibility at least once or twice or more across the multiverse. So, So I find it highly unlikely that No Watch Ben is the only universe where Ben just has no Omnitrix at all. Like the Omnitrix just never landed. But this is like the one that they found. Now, this Ben got all the way to 16 years old with no Omnitrix, no aliens, no adventures, no nothing. Now, his relationship is strained with Gwen as a result. And eventually, once he's 16, Max explains to him everything and talks about the plumbers and everything. And basically, Ben gets to become a plumber. It's implied by the end, if you've ever watched the episode. But me personally, I feel like it would be kind of nice if, like, you know, all of a sudden, like, it's only upon being 16 that the Omnitrix finally crashes down, or Max gives him the Omnitrix. You know, kind of like a late to the party kind of thing, you know? I don't know. I just like it would have been interesting to see, but I still think a version of Ben in another universe that didn't get the Omnitrix but became a plumber is an interesting concept that I think could definitely be explored in an alternate universe, like, you know, comic book series maybe. Anyway, that's it. You know, and there's more, but those are like the main ones I wanted to talk about. Anyway, after this, I'm going to be taking a break from Ben 10 subjects and just talking about other nerd topics in the future. I mean, I'll still talk about Ben 10 topics, just, you know, I don't want it to seem like all I talk about is Ben 10. Anyway, please like, subscribe, share with your friends, and please enjoy.